Hello, so we thought we'd make a little video about our new bike rack. It's the carry bike 200 DJ Ducato 2006 onwards. So we've had our eye on this bike rack for a while. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see that for our trip to Scotland last year, in a bit of a panic, we bought a £20 bike rack that went on the tow ball of the van. It was okay for £20, obviously it got our bikes around Scotland, we managed to use them, but we were sort of in fear of it falling off at all times. And also, even when you put the bikes on it properly, it looked like either the front or the back, depending how you put them on, one of the tyres was going to touch the road, which was dodgy. Basically it looked dodgy and it felt dodgy, but it did do the job, to be fair. We didn't have any mishaps, but this is what we always wanted because it looks the part, it does the job properly, it's really secure, and your bikes are secure on it. So the only thing that put us off for a while with this is brand new. I think it's over £300. We got really lucky with this one. It was a couple who've just bought a nice new motorhome. The people selling it to them were going to supply and fit this for them, but they said they didn't want it, so they were selling it brand new in the box, never opened, never installed, for £200, which for us still felt like quite a lot to spend on a bike rack, but like I say, this model should be over 300 quid, so we were pleased with the price in the end. We had been looking on the second-hand market for a while, got one £200 in the end, brand new in the box. Having spent some time looking, they do seem quite hard to find second-hand, because I guess people just put them on the van and that's it then, they're on that van. So you don't really find them second-hand to buy. Installing it, I did it on my own, didn't need Heather's help with it. It took about an hour and a half, so you could definitely do it quicker than an hour and a half, but for me, these bolts here, and there's two at the top as well, you have to, obviously all four have to go through this frame, and I was having real trouble getting all four in at the same time and then being able to put the nuts on the bottom. So that took a lot of adjustment, a little bit of drilling as well, careful drilling, but in the end got all four of them through. That's definitely what took the most time. If you didn't happen to have that problem, then it would be a lot quicker. So yeah, about an hour and a half in total to fit it. Putting the bikes on, haven't done that yet. About to record me doing it for the first time, so we'll see what that's like, and then have a little recap. For your first time doing it, as I've just discovered, you might need to adjust like this bit here, this bracket, and these arms, just to get them sort of in the right place for your bikes when they go on. I'm assuming after you've done it once and you've put your bikes on securely and then taken them off for a ride, these are going to pretty much be in the right place when you go to put them back on again, but I don't really know because this is my first time. For the first time ever was fairly easy. Just takes a bit of adjusting these arms that hold the frame, getting them into the right position and figuring out how your bikes sort of sit on here together. But it seemed easy enough. It took about 10 minutes just doing it for the first time, and they seem a lot sturdier than when we had the other bike rack. So you're paying for the security, the peace of mind as you're driving around, knowing that your bikes are safe on the rack. When we had the tow ball one, people were keeping their distance from us in traffic, weren't they, because it looked so dodgy. Whereas this one, I think, especially if you had a cover over them or something, it would look a bit better. You've got this little strap here as well that you could put on as a little fail safe. To put the actual thing on the van, probably about an hour and a half for me. To put the bikes on the rack, 10 minutes. The cons of this thing, now, as you can see, where's the back windows gone? They're behind there somewhere. Our back windows, obviously a lot of these Ducatos boxer relay vans have these back windows in the doors, and they've disappeared now behind the bike. Let's see what the view's like.
You bad dog, naughty. So we've got loads of light because we've got skylights, kitchen, window, another skylight up there, but the bikes really do cut down the view.
If you use the back door to get in and out of your van, that obviously becomes a lot more. Whoa! So coming out of the van, for example, it's a bit like Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom. You have to be like, whoa! Another thing is, as you can probably see up there, the rear view camera, which was a once useful tool, that's obviously going to be impaired by the bikes being on this rack, but we've managed, I don't know, 6 years without a rear view camera in our previous vans, so I'm sure we'll be alright. Talking about the pros and cons, the pros are looks professional. It looks the part. Number 2, bike's nice and secure on there. Number 3, if your bikes aren't on it, it just folds up out the way, fairly discreet really. With the other big tail bar sort of things, you have to take them off and you'd have to store them somewhere. This just folds up out the way nicely. Main cons for me, the cost, it's quite expensive really. If you're looking at similar bike racks, then you've got to pay that sort of money, but to me it seems expensive. Call me a cheapskate, but it does seem expensive. 2, the view from the rear windows. If we set up camp somewhere, we'd get the bikes down, fold it up, and your view pretty much comes back. But if you're on the road just stopping over for one night, then the bikes are going to be there sort of in your view. And number 3, con number 3, the view from the rear view camera is going to be a bit obscured, and obviously when you're reversing into something, we've got reverse sensors, but these bikes are sticking out an extra half a metre now, so we've got to think about that when we're using the rear sensors or even looking from the rear view camera. But that's where travelling in twos comes in handy, because one of you can get out and back the other one in, so not too much of a problem. Overall, pretty pleased with this. It was easy enough to put on, easy to get the bikes on there. If you've got any alternatives, or if you've spotted something I'm doing wrong, then let me know in the comments. Cheers.